Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tayler Yarish Show. We are back. We are here. We are live. Unprecedented, legendary, just historic episode we have here. We have a guest on the podcast for the first time. That's right. You heard it. I've teased it in the past. I always said it was going to happen, and it never did because I don't reach out to friends. But we have a guest on the podcast for the first time ever. You heard his laugh. If you know him, you love him. If you don't, you're about to. Give it up for Bo Ballew, everybody.
How's it going, everybody? How we doing?
Bo Ballew, comedian in New York City, good buddy for many years.
This is another scenario where I've just been with you at the right time, where things have worked out for me very well. We were just together, and I was jokingly like, you want to have a guest on your podcast?
So some backup for everyone. I've been playing baseball on Sundays, and Bo is a part of the genesis of that, where he was, again, right place, right time. I was asked if I want to play baseball. He was with me. He came to play baseball, and it was the most magical thing ever. And we've been doing it every Sunday ever since.
I've been mooching on Tayler for 6 weeks now. Yeah. And that also explains the sunburn.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out.
If you're not on the video, get on the video. Bo that is not what he normally looks like. He normally looks like a normal human being.
I look like the logo for like the Red Hot Candy or something.
Yeah. If I pressed his forehead, it would stay to the end of this podcast.
Yeah, it would leave a dent.
Oh, man. So the reason for the guest, so we had quite the epic day, Bo.
It was a long day. It was a fun, long day of beach and baseball.
Yeah. So it's Sunday, so we normally do the baseball game at night, but we did a day game out at, was it technically Rockaway?
Rockaway Beach.
Okay, so it was Rockaway Beach, Jacob Reese Park. Not a great park, I'll be honest.
No, it was a bit clunky.
Yeah, it was a bit clunky. Ground was uneven. What can you do? But we made a day out of it. So we met up. We hopped on the scooter, rode into Manhattan, took the ferry.
We had a 3-borough day: Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn.
We did, and I'm brushing over. I mean, let's just pause and just say the ferry. If I was alone on this episode, half this episode would probably be about the ferry and how fun it was.
The ferry was awesome. The ferry's such a vibe. If you ever want to take the ferry, take the fucking ferry.
Yeah, I remember one time I was I was hosting, and there was some tourists in town, and I was asking them what they did, and they said that they did a boat cruise, and I was like, "What'd you do?" And they said the ferry, and I made fun of them.
Yeah.
And after doing it today, I was like, "No, you did a boat cruise."
Well, they have like a bar and stuff.
Yeah.
Like at one point, I just looked at you and was like, "You want to fuck around and get a beer?"
Bo has these moments of like just
alcoholism.
I was gonna say vulnerability, where you like share a part of yourself. You open up. You're like, yeah, it wasn't just you want a beer. You want to fuck around and get a beer. And the reason he said "fuck around" is because it was still a.m. It was still
No, it was noon. It was like 12:15 at that point. We were at the first stop by the time. I guess it
was. You have to understand, for most of America, that's just it's lunch break.
No, it's mimosa o'clock, brother. Yeah. Although we had Moscow mules.
Yeah, little canned Moscow mules, and sitting up on the deck, the roof deck of the ferry. And you're right, it was a fucking vibe.
Oh, it was awesome.
I had this shirt on, of course.
I also had a Hawaiian shirt on, but I'm not wearing it anymore. Yeah. I had to highlight the damage that I did to my body today.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, we were standing there at the beach about to leave, and I was like, dude, Tayler, check this out. Look how sunburned I am. And then I was like, it's not that bad. And then one of the people we play baseball with was like,
yeah, she gave a look. Honestly, it's ironic because in the sun it looked worse, or it looked not as bad.
Well, I think it's also just like growing and like marinating, the more I look at it, the worse it gets.
It's like when you let a steak rest.
It cooks a little longer. I'm still cooking a little bit, like I'm getting warmer and warmer.
Exactly. Oh my God, if your chest came out as a steak, I'd eat the fuck out of it.
Yeah, look at this.
All right, maybe not now.
It's too hairy.
Not the titty part, but
Oh, the titty part's the best part, dude.
yeah. So yeah, we took the ferry out there. Some people biked out there, which is kind of crazy. What was it, 9 or 10 miles? I think
Something like that. It's like as far away from where we are right now that you could go and still be in New York City.
Yeah. And yes, we made it out there. We probably started playing around 2:00, playing shirtless. I mean, it was just.
I was asking for it.
It was.
I saw everyone with their shirts off and was like, God, they look like they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it too.
And then I decided, I was like, I need to one-up everybody. The attention's not on me enough. And so I pulled out a big fat stogie.
The biggest cigar I've ever seen.
I was like, this is going to be so cool. Turns out smoking a cigar during a baseball game, it does not help your athletic performance.
And these are people who probably don't smoke cigars very much. So when Taylor busted out the cigar, everyone was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
And if they do smoke cigars, it's like...
not while playing baseball.
It's like the size of their pinky also.
Yeah, it's like a cigarette, more or less.
Yeah. Like this, to them, my cigar was like out of a Bugs Bunny cartoon. You know, where it's like just a big fat, like where it gets fatter.
You
at
look
the
like
end.
the boss of the Monstars in Space Jam.
Yeah, the Danny DeVito character. Yeah.
Just fat and long. Like, you didn't finish smoking the cigar, did you?
No, I did. Because normally if I'm smoking a cigar, it's like this. I'm sitting down and I can like puff on it and like I can pace myself. But out there, I'm like, I'm running and I'm out of breath. And then I'm trying to take puffs off a cigar, and a cigar you're not supposed to inhale, but all my body wants to do is inhale.
Breathe.
So I'm like doing the act of inhaling without trying to get air into my lung. My body's like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, there were definitely a few times when I was like trying to feel the grounder where I just I just did. I mean, it's straight into my diaphragm.
Yeah. Oh my God. He also set a cooler on fire with the cigar.
That is true. We got a disposable cooler, and they had little ridges on it. Honestly, I thought it'd be fine.
I looked
Famous
at what
last
Taylor
words.
did with the cigar, and I was like, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I felt the same way.
It was like hanging off the edge of the cigar, but what happened is it just kept cooking, much like Bo's chest. And I didn't even see it happen. I think I was in the outfield, and somebody was just like, did someone say fire? I think someone said fire.
And then we go back after the inning's over, and our cooler is like half gone.
Yeah, our cooler is like starting to just char, and I was like, oh.
I did this.
But I guess somebody moved my... Because I don't remember taking it off. Somebody must have just moved my cigar and like put it on a bench or something. I don't know. We were also drinking, so...
A lot. Yeah, I mean, we had a Moscow Mule. Let's try and calculate this.
Oh, my God. All right.
So we had a Moscow Mule at like 12:15. Let's say 12:15. Might have been closer to 12:30. That ferry
Yeah.
rides. It's a slow-moving ferry, but
Yeah.
quite delightful.
Sure.
So about halfway through that, we had one Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
Then we get to Rockaway. We buy a dozen beers
Yeah.
and one White Claw.
Yeah.
For me, which I didn't drink the White Claw. I just touched
didn't
the
drink-
beers. No, I think someone else did, but also probably for the best.
Yeah. Probably wasn't needed.
12 beers. How many beers do you think you had playing baseball today?
I don't know. I want to say probably somewhere around 5, maybe.
I was thinking that I had like 6-ish. So,
yeah.
And we gave one away.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
5, 6 while playing baseball. Then we go to the beach and I had another one at the beach.
Yeah, I think I had one more at the beach, too.
So we're about 7 and 6 drinks in,
And
roughly 9 hours later.
with a tall boy of IPA.
Yeah, Tallboy IPA. What went into your decision to get that specific IPA?
The alcohol volume. It was ironic. It's like 6.2, and that was like the lowest that I saw.
Oh, okay.
Dude, some of them fuck around with like 9 points. I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm good.
That's insane. If you have a few of those, you're fucking done.
You had 12 beers. Like it's so much.
It's not fun. I've been real. I mean, I don't know if it's like celebrity. What's that marketing term where it's like you see a celebrity do it and then you want to do it?
Cucking.
I don't think that's it. Maybe. Well, I mean, I'm a cuck for some Bud Light. I'll tell you what, because
The best beer is cheap beer, and they put freedom on the can.
yeah, that's honestly the biggest sucker move for me. They put freedom, the American flag, and an eagle on a beer. You think I'm not gonna get it?
Yeah, and it already had the eagle, and they're like, let's just do this up. And then I bought so much Bud Heavy because of that recently. Way more than I typically do. Because every time you sip that and it says freedom on the can, you're like, this is what freedom
I'll
tastes
be
like.
goddamn if it doesn't make me feel a little bit better. Like, truly makes me feel a little bit better.
Oh, it does. Every time. I drink one of those when I watch Top Gun Maverick in Florida. I was watching Top Gun Maverick and I was drinking a Freedom beer and I was
God.
I was like, oh yeah.
And we got the Freedom beers on 4th of July, right?
4th of July. Pretty much every time I'm with you and we see the Freedom beer, we're like, what kind of beer are you thinking? It's like, Freedom beer.
I think a Freedom beer.
It's not even Bud Heavy anymore. It's Freedom beer.
Yeah. It's pretty, that's like what's going to get me the most. But I think it's like when I drink it, I feel better. It like gets me going in a way that other beers don't. It's like that. It reminds me of that Hunter. You heard that Hunter S. Thompson quote about music, where he says, like if you're driving in a car and it's on no tank of gas, you could drive one more mile if the right song's on the radio.
No, but I
You know what I
understand
mean?
that quote
It's like
entirely.
that, but that's the same kind of thing with a Freedom beer.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I don't know exactly what the analogy is, but
it's there.
it's there. You all saw it.
Yeah, oh, it's there. It's there. It's also like a beer like that too. Like Bud Heavy is closer to water than it is to beer, and like this is like closer. This is like you're drinking concrete. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you take a sip of this and you drink a full Bud Light.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So it's like when you drink you can drink more of those. So it's like a better beer all the time.
Yeah. It also makes me feel better about the fact that I can't really drink beer because I don't know how to burp. So.
I almost feel like that kind of beer feels more carbonated than like this kind of beer.
But I can. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think I've ever thought. I think if I'm already drinking beer, I've committed to.
I'm gonna have to make myself gag air in the bathroom.
Yeah. My mother listens to this show, and I need to clarify.
to-
I need to clarify the comment you just made. So- She's like, "What do you do in the bathroom?"
Gag air. In defense of your
Yeah.
need to clarify that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying because you've told
I know
me
what you're
this many
saying,
times.
and then I don't want her head to start spinning, being like, "All right, what the fuck does that mean?" So basically, and I've told my mother this before, but like I can't. And if anyone doesn't know, I can't burp. I can't make myself burp. It doesn't happen naturally. Gas will just build up in my stomach, and then it'll eventually come out the back end. It's so uncomfortable. So when I drink a lot of beer, sometimes I go to the bathroom and I stick my finger down my throat. I don't throw up. I burp up all the gas that's in there.
So you're just like opening it's almost like you're going in and then like spacing out your fingers or something.
It's like there's a kink in the hose or like a valve that's like. And I'm pushing it back, and now the channel's
you know, like
free.
where to find it with your finger. When
It's the same as if you were trying to make yourself puke.
Oh,
Except I don't puke.
But you don't puke?
No.
Because I feel like if I'm going back there with a finger, I'm throwing
But
up.
you know how sometimes if let's say you're trying to make yourself throw up, and the first one is sometimes just you know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
That's all I stop there.
Oh, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it feels amazing. It doesn't feel amazing while I'm doing it, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, because you're like,
Yeah,
like
it's the opposite of freedom.
that's where that extra mile analogy comes in. Because when it's a freedom beer, your body like digests it
Yeah.
better. You're like, I don't need to burp.
My body's like, we'll get you through this.
It's freedom.
Yeah, but if I'm drinking some fucking Stella Artois, I'm puking in the bathroom, everybody.
Or it would almost be better if that you did have to burp after you drink the freedom beer because freedom isn't free. So you're you're like, I'm earning my freedom.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Freedom isn't free. That's what you say every time you go to the bathroom after you have a couple of beers.
It's all about, I appreciate a beer because I know what it costs. these people just crushing 12 packs. You have no idea what we go through.
You don't know the struggle.
Exactly. Yeah, so we probably had, that's probably accurate. I could have drank, but by the end of the day, did you feel drunk at all?
No.
Yeah, I
We
didn't either.
spaced it out. Like, I mean, how much can you really space out? Like 7 beers? But like,
Yeah.
I mean, from like noon until now, what time is it now? Like 9?
Yeah, 9:30.
It's 9. That's like, we're averaging like a beer an hour or less. So
That's
it's like
true.
a beer every hour and a half. So your body's going to digest some of that.
Sure. I mean, all we had to eat was fucking Pringles and a Cliff Bar.
Oh my God, I was so hungry. We were scooting over here and I was like, I'm going to pass out.
Yeah, I was worried about Bo because we didn't really eat. You had to take like you know you got to eat with medication or whatever. So then you like ate a Cliff Bar, and then we really didn't eat the entire day. We were playing baseball.
I woke up, I had a smoothie, then I met you, and I got a Cliff Bar, and then we got to Rockaway, and then I got a bag of chips and Ritz crackers.
Tough.
And that was all I had until and then we got back to the ferry, and then there was an ice cream truck.
Oh yeah, we did have the cream.
$22 worth of ice cream.
Can you fucking believe that? So it was just a regular ice cream truck or whatever, just a tuxedo twist. What is it? It was 21, so that's 10.
$21.78.
Yeah.
You know how much $22 worth of ice cream is? Not that much.
It's no. It was. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. when you
Taylor
told me.
ate that ice cream so fast, I wasn't sure I bought him ice cream. I like handed it to you and it was gone. I was like, my God, man.
I have a problem with just if food is in front of me, I will. Did you see? You started to eat your sandwich while I was walking the dog. I came back. I think we finished at the same time.
I choke on food a lot, so I've had to force myself to slow down.
okay.
You
That's
can't
your-
burp. I have a narrow esophagus.
That's your in the
I've
bathroom
like
thing.
choked in public a couple times. It's very embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, we were both fucking starving, and it took us forever to get back because we got into the city. So we took the ferry from Wall Street, Manhattan. So we had to get the ferry back there. Then we were going from Wall Street, and we were going to go over the Williamsburg Bridge. And ever since, I mean, the audience knows the full gamut of the Scoot situation, it getting seized and me getting it back and everything.
Truly Shakespearean.
It's yeah, and we almost had a sequel because the cops they just sit at the foot of the bridge, and so we're about to go over the bridge into Williamsburg, and I pull up and I see 2 cop cars, lights off. Bo's oblivious; he doesn't see anything.
I have no idea. Taylor stands up and it's like a groundhog peeking out of its hole. I was like, he sees something that I do not.
Yeah, Bo was on the back. He was like, "What is it, boy? What is it, boy?
Oh, you see a car?
What is it?" Yeah, and then I see this cop like kind of step out. And so I paused in the bike lane. I whipped it around. But then we had to go back into Manhattan, south over the Manhattan Bridge, and then come up from lower Brooklyn into Williamsburg. Yeah.
And then we got to the bodega and we bought these beers and sandwiches. I got ID'd and Taylor didn't.
Yeah.
Which I thought was odd.
That was. It's also. You don't look like a fucking 20-year-old.
I was like looking down, like I truly was like kind of just looking down, like pulling my wallet out and stuff. And then I looked up and he saw how sunburned I was and he was like, "You're a child."
Yeah. This guy can't take care of himself.
He should not be drinking beer legally.
Yeah, we were talking about before. I have not been ID'd in many years.
That was the first time I've been ID'd. But I've been ID'd by like bouncers and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I don't really understand that whole rule. Like, you go to establishments and they're like, if you look under 40, we're gonna card you. Why?
how do you define 40?
Why?
Also? Like,
yeah, like if somebody looks in their mid-30s, anywhere in their 30s, assume.
yeah, I think it's fairly safe to assume. And also, like, some people carry 40 a lot harder than other people.
Yeah,
Like-
dude. Well, if a 20-year-old looks like they're 35, they probably need a drink.
Yeah, they're allowed to drink.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you've been through, but you've earned
You
this.
look stressed as fuck. Next one's on me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I was fucking 20 years old, I was. Although, no, if I shaved my head, I would still look like I had hair, but I was already losing my hair.
When did you
in,
start losing your hair? How old are you?
I mean, it's a very slow over many years progress, but I would say probably like high school.
Yeah,
know?
I've told you that my hair was thinning and stuff in high school, right?
Like how bad?
I was 18 and my hair started thinning. Like it was just happening. You know, I would shower and stuff. But I did something that Taylor didn't do where I got in front of it. I saw a problem. I said, Bo, we're going to fix this.
Did you do like Rogaine or something?
I did Rogaine, and then I've talked to you about it, Propecia or finasteride or whatever. The testosterone blocker.
Yeah. Did that hurt you at all?
Well, I definitely felt low testosterone for a very long time, and then you were the one who told me it was a testosterone blocker, and I was like, oh.
Oh, that explains so much.
Just feeling groggy and stuff all the time, feel like an old man.
What did you think you were taking?
I didn't know the science behind it. Like they explained to me when I went to the doctor, but I wasn't listening. I was 18 years old. I was like, I just don't want to. I was just focused on the vanity of the whole experiment. Wow. It never was affecting me enough where it was like ruining my life. But I was like, I always was like, I feel like I might be mildly like low testosterone.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like.
Did you take it too?
I took it for a little bit in college, and I was like, I would feel kind of depressed. Mm-hmm. And then one day, like my balls started to hurt. And I don't know if that was related.
Oh, that's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
I felt that before too.
You felt it too? Fuck.
Sometimes they hurt. It feel like that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, my balls started, and I was like. And then I became really depressed because I did the opposite. I did too much research where like I'm the kind of guy where like if I look up a restaurant and I read the reviews, I'm only reading the negative fucking reviews. Yeah. So I'm seeing all the just horrible stories about taking finasteride where like finasteride, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so sure. Like some of these people, they like it would affect their testosterone like permanently. Like they wouldn't fucking recover from it, and then they just had problems with their fucking dick for ever. And so when my balls started to hurt, I got depressed and I started like spiraling of like, dude, my life's over.
My dick broke.
Yeah, I broke my ball. And dude, I remember I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, and I think I called my aunt at the time because she was like She lived like close to where I lived in college, and she would like come in to visit sometimes. She would get me groceries and stuff, and so I think I called her and asked her if she could take me to the doctor, and I went to a special, which I still get emails from. I went to this doctor where they basically like put that like pregnancy gel, that like on the stomach. They put that on my ball.
I've been there too, brother.
You did that too?
Not for this, but I've had that done before.
You just other ball stuff? Yeah. Getting older's tough, folks.
I'll let you finish yours, and then I'll tell mine.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, and then she just, she did the, whatever, the mammogram? Is that
mammogram,
it? Yeah. You do a mammogram of your ball, and, did your doctor, like, she was, like, trying to make, like, casual conversation while she's like just
I was in 9th grade and the whole time she was like doing it, she's like, this is so brave of you.
Oh,
like,
that's worse.
Is so deeply uncomfortable.
It's worse.
It's like the first woman to see my penis.
Did you ever, when you like went to the pediatrician or whatever and you knew you were gonna have to like show her your goods, did you ever like fluff in the bathroom beforehand?
Not at the pediatrician. When my family moved to Texas, our new like general doctor quit fiddling with.
Wait, what?
You know how like they would like touch your dick and stuff and just see how it works.
Yeah.
When my
see how it works.
What is this?
Hey, what you got going on here, kid?
I've never seen a dick like this before.
They just see how it works.
What you telling me? Other dicks start corkscrew? That's crazy.
Oh, yours isn't like mine at all.
What's the worst thing a doctor could say when they look at your penis? I think that might be the worst thing you could say. Yours isn't like mine at all. You'd be like, what's wrong with
Yeah,
mine?
what is the deal? Fuck. Okay, so go on.
And then they just, like, by the time I hit puberty, I wasn't having to show doctors my penis anymore.
Oh, was that just not part of the... Yeah, when does that not become part of the checkup anymore?
It hasn't been a part of mine in a long time.
I guess
so
they're just doing it to make sure it's developing.
I suppose.
Okay.
But also, how do they know how developed you're supposed to be versus other people?
I mean, I guess they track it, right? If you go to the same pediatrician, they probably compare you to other people your
It's like when
age.
you measure your height.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, this is where your penis was
Yeah.
last year. If you look at this year, it just
You
got
notice
that.
that's like the 1 percentile. They don't tell you what you're in.
Yeah.
They always are like, you're the 98th percentile for height. You're like, cool. What else?
You're an A percentile.
Yeah. Mom, you want to step out the room?
But when I was in 9th grade, I had like a second cousin who was like 10 years older than me or something. He's like, he was in college when I was, so maybe not 10 years, but he got testicular cancer.
Oh, shit.
So it was like a huge thing, like paranoia thing.
Yeah.
And I felt what I thought was like a bump, which was just like an excess of fluid. Like there was something there, but it was like non-problematic.
Yeah.
But then I had to go get my balls looked at and all that stuff. It was very fun. Hearing how brave I was to show
Yeah.
someone my penis.
Yeah. Don't tell me I'm brave while you have your
That
hands
feels
on my
mean.
balls. Yeah.
She just points left. It's so brave of you.
Yeah. This is very brave. Yeah. Do you tell this to all your patients or just me?
All the other patients, she's like, nice.
Yeah. What's brave about that, by the way? I don't...
That I felt like a growth and like went and told my parents that
Oh, okay.
like that it was brave of me to like get checked or whatever.
Oh, okay. Did you so like you told your parents and then they took you?
Yeah, because I had that cousin who had just had testicular
Right,
cancer,
right,
so
right.
everyone was freaking out. All
had
the
that.
guys in my family were like, "Oh, I have it."
Fuck. Were you like in high school, were you able to like talk to your parents about like chicks and stuff?
No.
Yeah, same. Well,
Nice.
my mom would push back against this, but no, I didn't tell them anything.
No, I still don't.
Well, now there's nothing to tell.
If I'm
but
going out on a date, I just tell my parents. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm gonna get drinks with friends."
Well, yeah. I mean, when I went to college, it was like, but all of college, none of it was like, I never was like dating anybody anyway, so it's not really much to share.
That's also part of it. It's not like there's
Right. Yeah. I'll let you know when it's serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna like tell my parents every time I go on a date once a year.
Yeah.
You know? I'm just kidding. But also like it just seems like an unnecessary because they'd get all excited and stuff. That's like part of it. They'd be so excited. They'd be like,
Right. It's sort of like, when a married couple, I guess, is like announcing the pregnancy, they wait until it's like 3 months in. They don't do it
Right.
immediately because it might be. That was a sad analogy to make, but
it might fall through.
because you might lose it.
yeah, plans might change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the baby will have other plans. Fuck.
That was a dark analogy.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
Miscarriages.
Miscarriages.
Am I right?
I don't exactly even know how those work, but I know they're bad.
Yeah.
I just, in my head, it's you're on the toilet and like half a baby just slinks into the toilet.
I'm going to guess that that's not correct.
I don't think I'm that far off. Call in if
call Tayler Yarish and tell him about your miscarriage.
just tell me about your I'm out here to learn, okay?
You have a funny miscarriage story that you would like to share?
I thought you were about to ask me like, do you have any funny miscarriage stories?
No, just the royal listener. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, do I? No. And if I do, they're not funny.
I'd be hard pressed to find someone who had a miscarriage and looks upon it humorously.
Yeah, especially if you're like wanted it. Well, because sometimes it's like.
Sometimes you're like, oh, thank God. But
Sometimes
you're still
it's
probably
like,
not,
he
that
does
was-
answer prayers.
Yeah. But I bet in that situation, you're still not like, that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like no matter what, even if you don't want a baby, you're not ready to have a baby, it's probably just the act of having something inside of you and then it's not anymore. That must fuck you up.
I'd imagine it's a very strange feeling.
I was about to make some bad analogy of like losing your keys or something, but
Well, look at the last analogy you made. Look where we are now because of it.
well, listen, there's not a lot in my life that I can relate to that scenario.
Except when I lose my keys.
Right, yeah. Well, it's be like, my roommate's dog. So my roommate has a dog, and I really love this dog. It's not my dog, but I now feel like it's a part of my life. But if he was, suddenly not in my life anymore, I'd be sad, but like, he never was really in there to begin with.
By the way, isn't your roommate having a dog the best? When it's not your dog.
Oh, it's amazing.
But you just get like the fun parts of living with the dog.
Yes.
It's like you just tell hey, your dog is shitting everywhere.
Yeah.
You got to clean this up. You don't have to be the one to do it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Except if it's like this where you're doing your roommate a favor because he's out of town. But
I really don't mind it though. I do like. It feels nice to have some sort of responsibility of life to take care of something.
it was nice that it pulled us away from drinking at the beach longer.
Yeah. It's like a good excuse to be like, I get my dogs at home. I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's like it's the ultimate like parachute. You could just pull away.
Yeah. Then no one's gonna be like, fuck your dog.
Yeah. Although Emily did say, she was like, it'll be fine. But she was also,
she was right. He was fine when we
he
got
was
here.
fine, but she was also, I mean, she was just using that logic to get us to stay there. But like somebody rode by, I guess they had, no, she was saying people who like put their dogs in like a little carriage while they ride their bike. She's like, those are monsters because you're risking your dog's life. And then she tried to like compare that to people who put their babies in the front
Like in the
thing.
basket on like a city bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, something a little more secure than that. But this guy rode by the baseball stadium and he had his baby just like chilling in the thing.
Whoa.
No helmet, no nothing, just fucking riding with his baby.
Well, their heads are soft.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, it doesn't even have a helmet. I'm like, I don't think a helmet would do anything.
Yeah, no,
You know?
it'd just be toast.
Yeah. I think you're risking a lot on a fucking on a bike ride.
Monster's not necessarily the word I would use for that. I get the sentiment though. You're like,
No.
it is. You know what used to freak me out when I was a little kid because it always made my dad super nervous was when people would drive and their dogs would stick their head out the window really far.
I would always just think they would jump out.
Yeah, or like their head would be out and like someone would speed past and like
Ooh, like Hereditary? Have you seen
yeah,
that movie?
yeah, like that kind of
fucking knocks
situation.
the pole.
Oh my god, I hated that movie so much.
I loved it.
I did not like that
Oh,
movie.
it was great.
I did not have a good time.
Oh, no, you don't have a good time.
I was like, I feel like this movie's so far up its own ass. Every time someone's like, Hereditary's the best. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot.
No, dude, I saw that when I saw it in theaters, like for the first in theaters, it was fucking crazy. I saw it was like a matinee, which is it's not a movie for matinee.
No, that's a nighttime movie.
I saw it at Union Square, and I came back out onto the street, and everybody's just like doing their lives, and I'm like, you all don't know that exists. You're better off.
Me and my old roommates went and saw that movie like whenever it first came out.
Yeah.
We went on like opening weekend at nighttime. It was like a packed theater. Everyone's like, you gotta see this movie. So it was like packed. We were like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be so fun seeing like a scary movie at a packed theater in Manhattan. And then like 10 minutes into the movie, we were like, it's not that kind of scary movie.
You know, it was gonna be like a jumping.
We thought it was gonna be like fun, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but we were kind of just like upset.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's so many upsetting parts of that movie, especially
Like when it sucked.
yeah, like the whole time. I can't put my finger on who's the actress, the mom in
Toni
that?
Collette.
I don't know how I feel about her.
I like Toni Collette.
That's everyone says they like Toni Collette, and I'm just like, she's always kind of playing that role. Where I'm like, I feel like when she gets cast in something, she just goes to the director, she goes to the makeup people, and she's just like, make me ugly.
Do you think she says those exact words?
Maybe. Because I, like, you know, and then you see her on the red carpet. Like, she looks, you know, she's like a decently looking person, but like all these movies, she always looks like fucked up. And I think it adds.
Yeah, well, she goes through it in Hereditary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would
Dude,
make you less attractive,
she's
too.
like, sawing her fucking head off or whatever that was.
God,
Spoiler.
I hated that movie. Did you see the one with the flower? Like, what was it called? Midsommar?
I walked in and out of the room during that movie, and I could just tell I'm like, this is not for me. I'm gonna tell you what I think it's about, even though I didn't see it.
I never saw it.
You never saw it
because it's the same director, and I was like, this guy's a
okay.
pretentious piece of shit. And then that movie came out, and I was like, I don't need to see it. This guy sucks.
Just watching like glimpse and and I might be wrong, but I think, but it just kind of seemed like this like fuck men kind of movie where. It doesn't like a guy get like sacrificed or something. It just seemed like it was a cult that something, but it just that's the vibe I got out of the two scenes that I saw.
The only thing I picked up on was like, this seems like a movie that thinks it's very important. That was
yeah.
And I didn't like. I mean, I don't know what that movie's actually about, but maybe it's like about like what you're saying, but I didn't pick up on that. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I never saw the full thing. It's like kind of gave me the same vibes as like Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I don't think it's like Handmaid's Tale because
I didn't see that either. So
I haven't either. I'm a little more.
Are we all both just going off the poster?
What's another thing you haven't seen? All right, what's a movie you haven't seen? All right, here. Let me think of a movie. Have you seen? I almost said Remember the Titans, but of course you've seen Remember the Titans. Let me think of a different one. Have you seen Lady Bird?
Yeah.
Damn it. I was like, that'd be a good one to hear what it's about.
Have you seen The Black Phone?
The Ethan Hawke movie?
Yeah.
No, but I know what it's about. Damn it, we're kind of spiraling into.
Yeah, we know every movie, guys.
You're talking to a couple cinephiles here.
Yeah. I like seeing movies, but then I also like if I'm bored and I want something to do, I watch the same movie. I mean, hence the other night we just watched the same movies over and over again.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But Goodfellas is the best. That's like a movie that is so good you have to watch it like every year and a half.
And
or
it's
so.
one of those, and I hate when people say this, but every time you watch it, you see something new.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, it's just so fun. They don't make. Is another thing I hate when people say they don't make them like that anymore. They really don't.
That's the thing people say where I'm like, I know they really don't.
They really don't make them like that. And
because we watched Goodfellas the other night. It was me, Taylor, and my roommate Chris was kind of in and out, but eventually it sucked him in, and then he was just watching the movie. Because how can it not suck you in?
Yeah.
But I think that's the most I've ever laughed watching Goodfellas, when we were just like, I was like, oh, this movie's so much funnier than I ever remember it being.
It's very funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It like as I learn more about like movies and stuff, like the tone shift from the beginning towards the end, it gets very dark. But yeah, a lot of that first half of the movie is funny.
Even like some of the stuff he's doing in that final third of the movie or whatever, it's still like funny, but it is like upsetting.
Yeah.
It's watching this movie with Taylor. Taylor's like, I've seen this movie 746 times. Maybe 747. I'm not quite sure. I lost count. But like he'll like quote along with the movie, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. I hate that I'm doing this." And then he just keeps doing it.
Stop doing it. And I'm like, I know how I must be coming off. I'm like, I'm being that guy who's like, I'm saying the quote before, like right before the guy says it, which is the worst type of person.
And it's like, oh yeah, we get it. You love this movie.
Exactly.
No.
I'm the we get it guy.
But no, it wasn't it wasn't actually bothering me because I have my movies that I do that shit with. I love Goodfellas, but it's not the movie I've seen the most. So
Yeah.
it's like, but I do have movies that I do that with.
Yeah, and like because like not only have I seen the movie a million times, but like just my family grew up like quoting. I can't not quote that movie. There's always
it makes sense.
There's always a way to
Even like today at baseball, like 3 times Goodfellas came up, and it's like there's always a Goodfellas quote.
There was this guy on the beach, and he got way too fucking drunk, and he just started randomly puking up these oranges that he was eating, and Bo goes over and he like gives. I had a jug of water that I brought, and he like gives him the jug of water, and he starts like just slobbering all over it, and I was just like, you wasted 8 fucking aprons on this guy.
What a great scene in Goodfellas too.
I was making a lot of references during the beach time that like we're going right. I was making a lot of Point Break references that nobody was getting.
I've never seen Point Break.
You've never seen Point
All right,
Break?
here, this is a good one. Let me guess what Point Break is about. You can tell me.
Do you know you know nothing about it?
It's like a heist movie, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like someone's like infiltrating a group of. See, I think I'm too correct.
This is so
like,
funny.
So it's like about an undercover like FBI or CIA agent or some shit who goes undercover this group of like bank robbers more or less, but they also happen to be extreme.
That's not too bad. Yeah, so Patrick Swayze plays like he's the head of like the bank robbers, and they're all the bank robbers are surfers. Mm-hmm. And so that's Keanu Reeves and Gary Busey play the FBI guys.
Wow, Gary Busey, a time when he was like cool. That's like crazy to think about.
He's fucking fantastic in this movie, and he's got so many quotable lines. But like, yeah, so they figure out through whatever that the people are surfers. So yeah, Keanu Reeves goes in to try to infiltrate. He's got to learn how to surf to get in with the fucking crew and everything. And it's just like it's Keanu being Keanu, and it's Patrick Swayze being fucking Patrick Swayze. He's so smooth.
I've never seen Roadhouse, but I hear he's very cool in Roadhouse.
No, he's very, very cool in Roadhouse.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, but it's like there's so many. That's like one of those movies that is not a comedy, but it's like an unintentional comedy at certain points.
Oh, that's fun.
Because it's like a movie, I think either early 2000s or the 90s, where like some of the comedy is just so.
That was a 90s movie. That was like 94 or 5.
Yeah,
probably.
It's just like some of it's so over the top, and some of the actors are like just being way too much. Where like today's acting is much more like subtle and a little bit like more realistic and reserved or whatever. But like some of these people, they're just so over the top that it's just like you watch it now and it's a fucking comedy.
Well, I mean, it's a movie starring Oscar nominee Gary Busey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that there was a point in time where Gary Busey gave an Oscar-worthy performance. Was he Buddy Holly? Was that what it was?
Listen, man, he was great. Guy's got some teeth on him.
All I know of Gary Busey is like more or less the last 12 years of Gary Busey.
Yeah, I know him more as like a cultural just
lunatic.
Yeah. What happened to him?
I'm sure like Hollywood broke him like it has many people before him. Like he basically like went in like a pure child. I don't know if he was a child star, but like child stars, not all like kids go into Hollywood already fucked up, but then like just the system just fucks them up. That'd be my guess.
It's always the story, right? It's always what you hear, like, you know, they're a child star and it fucks them up. They get all this money and they fucking lose it all and it fucks them up. But part of me is always like, let me see if it happens to me. You know what I mean? Like, I have the arrogance of just being like, I think I'll handle it well.
Well, are you saying like let's go back in time and make you a famous child actor? Or are you saying like let's make you famous now and see?
I mean, I guess yeah. I guess if you're a child and then you have like Justin Bieber level fame, yes, that's gonna fuck you up. But if I had Justin Bieber level fame now, like
that's a different thing. Like
it is, but like it still happens where people, you know, they get super famous. I mean, I'm still in my 20s, so it's not like I could still it could happen and then people like still lose their mind.
If you become an asshole, I'll let you know.
But that's the thing is I don't think I would. I don't think I would fucking start, doing blow and become addicted to
Because you're already doing blow.
Exactly, right? And you know, if
And
it
you
ain't
keep
broke,
a pretty level head for it.
exactly. I hold it down, everybody. That was a joke, Mom. I'm not doing blow.
He's not doing blow.
Yeah, I don't do blow. Bo, on the other hand.
It's almost like your mom's the only person who
Yeah.
watches podcast.
Yeah, it'd be a different podcast if I did this as if only my mother would listen. Eventually, she'd just be like, you can just call me. I would, but I can't get a word in. That's not true. That's not true either.
You're really roasting her.
Yeah.
She seems like a lovely lady.
Yeah. Well, she also is the only one that gives me positive feedback too on the podcast, which is like, obviously, I appreciate anybody who gives me positive feedback, but it like sometimes it reinforces that people are listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, there's people that I know listen every week, and then every once in a while I'll like run into somebody who I have not talked to in forever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, listen to your pod," and I'm like, "Ew."
I hate that.
It always feels like they just told me they look through my window at night.
Hey, I watch you sleep, buddy.
Yeah. Or I'll like mention something like, "Yeah, I know, I heard about it on the podcast." I'm like, oh, you're one of those." Because I really don't look at the stats at all. Like, I see the stats every once in a while. Like, I see them when I upload, but I don't look into, like, it's such a low number of people that I don't, like, care about demographics or, like, where they're at and shit.
You're not like interested where every once in a while you're like, I had one person in India listen to the show this week. Because that happens with my podcast sometimes. We're like, who in India found this?
What's the name of your podcast?
Talk Sauce.
Talk Sauce. That's right. And it's like a little hot sauce bottle.
Yeah.
And it's you and your
Me and a buddy from high school, Jack Gardner, very funny guy.
Jack Gardner and Bo Ballew. Talk Sauce, everybody. Give that a listen. After you're finished this episode, go and download Talk Sauce, everybody. All right?
We haven't recorded in a while, but we'll be back.
But they'll be back. Coming soon. That's the tagline. Let's plug some shit. This Wednesday, I got if you want to come to Yarbar Comedy Show, ticket sales are light, everybody. They're light.
It's a hell of a show.
It is a fun show. We got some funny people on it. It's going to be a good time. You know where it is. I say it every show, and I beg people to come, and I don't know if they do. Anything else you want to plug before we wrap this thing up?
Instead of going to Yarbar, you should check out my show, Waterline, New York. It's a great show.
Don't worry, I'll bleep that.
It's not on the Yarbar day, but if you're in between the two,
It is a good show. Where is it right now? Comedy Shop?
Well,
No.
we're just a comedy shop because we were at that venue that you did it at not
Yes.
too long ago. We were at this really cool jazz club that they closed down, so now we're
It was really cool.
looking for a new spot. But we're still doing the comedy shop one. And I'm on the social medias, the Twitters and Instagrams.
Social media. You want to give them what you're...
At Bo Ballew. If you're on PlayStation, my gamer tag is BoboFett86753009.
Love it. All right, so we got Yarbar, we got Waterline, Talk Sauce, and the socials. Ladies and gentlemen, longest podcast we've ever done here on the Tayler Yarish
How long
Show.
did we go for?
We're at about 50 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Over the scheduled allotted time in the studio. Hopefully the audio levels are okay on this. Maybe none of this is usable, but
Let's hope so.
yeah,
No,
a lot of fun. Legendary episode, first ever guest on the podcast.
what an honor. That's all I can
It's
say.
really great.
Truly a privilege.
If you are listening to this, I know I always say like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. For this episode, don't do any of that. Just message me and tell me if I should start doing guests. If you're like, oh, now the podcast is interesting. Because then maybe this will give me the courage to actually do this
Ask
every
the
once.
people who care about you.
Yeah, yeah. You know what this is? I'm gonna call this episode "Breaking the Seal" because that's what
That's a
this
great
is.
name for this.
You know.
But I also struggle with that too. I'm like, I have an idea for a sketch. My friends who love doing funny things, I don't want to bother them.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's scheduling and like also, can you imagine trying to get somebody to come up here? I mean, we scooted up here, but like, yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's like,
Yeah, he lives over by the airport they robbed in Goodfellas.
yeah. That's not wrong. Yeah. Yeah, maybe every once in a while I'll come to the comedy condo and we could do like
That would be awesome.
that'd be an epic pod.
That would be so sick.
We'll do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Bo Ballew, everybody.
Thank you for having
Go
me.
give him a follow. We'll see you next week. That's it. Goodbye.
Au revoir.